Okay. Doing well. I mean, I was just talking to you guys about how I was. I mean, with the U20 World Cup happening, and some of the other stuff going on, and the Women's World Cup about to start. My energy level for this friendly isn't at its peak level, but with 30 minutes to go, I'm starting to getting a little excited now. I'm starting to get a little bit more of the fanaticism going on with me. I know it's only a matter of time. 45 minutes from now, I'm just gonna be screaming at my television. I'm calm now, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is the actual. This obviously this isn't the actual jersey. You could probably just somewhere in a downtown area with a lot of Latinos and get like a cheap replica. I think this was. I don't know how much this was, but yeah.
Yeah, it's an exciting game. I mean, looking forward to the summer for a long time. So Copa America about to kick off. See a couple of these players maybe we don't want to see, maybe we do want to see. So a couple that some guys in there we want to see put in a good performance. So it'll be exciting to see what happens.
Good, good, Russo. Good to be back and chatting with you about the game. Also good to see Jason and also Cesar. I mean, it's good for Mexico to be in Peru today because I think Estadio Nacional, where they're going to play tonight, that was where El Tri's U17 won the World Cup 10 years ago. So it brings nice memories back, when that title happened with Chucho Ramirez. And
It's a good question.
that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, Bell, no, no, no.
We
I
got
don't.
the
I don't think
substitution
there's a
starting.
Bell. Maybe Esqueda, but I'm not completely sure. I think he was still part of that generation. But the thing is about this, about the game in general, about the game today. I mean, it's experimental lineup. It's experimental lineup for Piojo Herrera still, and we'll see on Sunday probably the lineup that will be the starting 11 for the Copa America.
It's nice. It's convenient. I dig it. I like that. Yeah. Fabian, and then one quite, and Medina in the middle. Yeah.
I think he's there for the leadership. I think it's a defense that doesn't, you might say maybe Ayala is one of the leaders there, but Ayala still, has like 4, 5, 6. Doesn't have that many national team games under his belt. You needed a leadership figure, and Rafa Marquez. Rafa Marquez already at a point in his age that he needs to have preseason, and playing Gold Cup would have prevented that to do that over there in Verona. So playing Copa America gives him the all of July to do preseason with the Serie A club. I think it's part of the leadership. I'm a little bit concerned though because he just barely got back from Italy to Peru, and I don't know if he could get a muscle injury in these type of games because of the travel and stuff. So I'm pretty surprised that he's starting in this one. I would have expected him maybe start in the second half, but not from the get-go. We'll see how he manages, how Herrera manages Marquez today.
I guess that's the thing with Rafa though, is that I think he's been surprising us the past couple of years. Like, because in all honesty, I think like a year or two ago, I think I thought we would have been done with him. But I mean, he keeps doing well. He keeps being a good leader on the field. So I don't know. We'll see it. The thing though is that like, Rafa's come back. It's exciting, but at the same time, there's going to be some questioning, especially in the Copa America. Is like, the pace that he has, which he doesn't have actually. It's going to be. It might be a little worrying to see Rafa, who is much slower than he used to be, and also he still gets cards. I mean, even though he's 35, 36, that guy got 2 red cards like in Serie A this season. That's still a worry. And you would have assumed that he would have been past that. You would assume he would have matured past that point. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see this Rafa that we haven't seen since what the World Cup actually. That was the last time he played for the national team.
Yeah, Jason, they haven't touched.
Yeah, age has not mellowed him out, has it? Like, he's still the same guy in many ways. And like, I doubted him so much going into the World Cup last year, and was proven very much wrong with the way he played. So I'm just kind of done doubting him. I kind of expect him to come back in. He's certainly going to have that leadership, but I expect him to play pretty well too. And like Naeem mentioned, you kind of worry about him coming in and playing long minutes. So I hope he is kind of like the first half only kind of thing, and we kind of see him go out after the first half, kind of put in a performance with these guys, and then shove off. Get ready for Sunday.
There's that whole idea, I think, of the, if it's the leadership aspect and the whole thing about Marquez still coming to the national team games when there's a sense that the team had to move on without him in a way. But we'll see what happens in the next months, or what his decision will be. Are we talking about Rafa Marquez playing his last, official tournament with Mexico? This could actually be it.
That's what I think about too. It's just I know it kind of benefits him. Who knows whose decision it was? I'm thinking it might have been Rafa's choice to play in this tournament, but I don't know. There are rumors. That contract he had with Hellas Verona, it was just 1 year, if I'm not mistaken. So who knows? Maybe he'll come back this summer back to Mexico. Maybe this is his kind of like his big goodbye. Because I would be really uncomfortable with him. Leading the team next year, because we're supposed to be phasing him out. We were supposed to phase him out like a while back. So it'll be interesting to see how he performs. And I think there's pressure on him too, because if he slips up in any way, I don't think too many fans would have too much of a problem to drop him off the national team roster, to be honest. I think we have a little bit more reinforcements of defense now. I don't know what you guys think. Yeah. Well, I guess, like I said, like I was telling the two that. All right, would it hurt the national team if this was Rafa's last tournament? Would we be okay? Would we be okay if this is the last tournament?
Well, I think I don't think there's a lot of replacements in that position. I don't think there's a real. We have Reyes, right, and we have a bunch of people we could kind of use in that spot. And like, it's not like there aren't a ton of question marks around Reyes. I love Reyes, but like,
Yeah.
There are question marks. He still has to really prove himself and make that big next step up that we expect him to make, but he still really hasn't made. So, I mean, like, there is a hole when he's like, it doesn't mean that he should stick around forever. And that we never want to believe. I mean, because we do have to move on, and I think it's important that you can't get better if you don't play it. Like, we need Ray in there, like, on the coals, like, doing it every time. It's great that he's in the Gold Cup because he's going to be put to a test, at least maybe in the later rounds of the tournament. But, like, it'd be good. And, but past Reyes, I don't know. Like, not really.
Yeah, well, one of the things that he said yesterday in the press conference in Peru, Rafa Marquez, because he was with Herrera, he said that the Copa America was kind of the tournament that opened him the doors to go to Europe. I mean, that's where he showed his skills. One player right now that is in that kind of scenario is Carlos Salcedo from Chivas. And I think, it's kind of nice that it's kind of passing the baton. Rafa Marquez, quote-unquote, passing the baton to Carlos Salcedo, who still has to prove himself a little bit more, have more competition with the senior national team, but he's a player that shows a lot of capabilities. Yeah. And in a sense, he is destined probably to be one of those leaders in the defense. And keep in mind, Moreno is probably going to move to another big club this summer. Hopefully, let's cross our fingers. And Reyes will actually have playing time in a European club this summer. So we're talking about 3 good center backs there that are, a good average median age.
All right. I think I'm actually good now.
Are you back?
Yes, I think it's funny. You guys can hear me, but they can't hear me, and the intro was horrible. Sorry about that, guys.
Who cares about them?
Who cares? It's just it's just us. So I apologize for that, guys, and thank you so much for the guys on the chat saying, hey, no one can hear Wiso. But we'll kind of keep going. Anything else about Rafa? I did not listen to anything you guys were just saying. I could repeat myself because I was trying to get this ready to go. I'm sorry. But other than that, go ahead.
Obviously, one more thing. I feel like we should phase him out. I feel like he should be done, and I know he's like I said, he's gotten those yellow cards and those red cards with Serie A. But one thing I love to look at is after every single one of his games with Hellas Verona, I love seeing his passing because still at his age, and I talk about this every now and then, he's like a quarterback. And it's exciting to see, and they're accurate too. They're accurate long passes like constantly. So it is difficult to argue against him not being part of the team anymore.
Very good then. Sure. Very good. Very good. Anybody else? Obviously in the defense, we want to see. I think Velarde got the kind of there. But Cesar, you were talking about Topo Valenzuela. Even though he was one of Piojo's guys, but and obviously deserve the call-up, but is Topo's spot pretty much, if you're looking at defense and players that probably won't be there and that probably needs to make the case to be there with Rafa? What do you think?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I think maybe part of the reason is that, Piojo knows that he might be comfortable with a 5-3-2 formation, but other than that, I mean, it's not like he played a lot with Atlas this season either. I think he only had 6 or 7 games, but I think some of that was due to injury. But I don't have faith in him, and I know I'm not the only one. I know a lot of people don't like him back there, and to me he's just like synonymous with just mistakes, just really fundamental mistakes. And I think more so than any other player, like in this starting 11, I think he has so much to prove. Because in his spot, someone like Salcedo could easily, and Salcedo, who's been near perfect, he's consistently doing well, and that left center back spot has done so well. So I think I don't know. I can't see him given a starting role at all whatsoever, and this is going to be his only chance to really prove that. I know that maybe that he could just stay relevant to the national team.
Yeah, I think we also have to understand that these are 3 games that we are playing in 1 week. Yeah. And as much as there's travel, right? Playing a game on Saturday, traveling for 2 days, South America, it's not like you just kind of go over in an hour like Europeans kind of do. So I think there's another reason why looking at everybody is not having everybody tired. 3 games in 1 week, I'm sorry, it is a lot, especially, for these players. So giving everybody a chance, and that's why you take, your 23 squads. Topo Valenzuela for you guys, Jason or Naib?
Jason, where are your thoughts?
Yeah, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Wiso. Topo's a body. Like he's there to fill a spot. Like he's not.
And what a body
for a starting role. He could have the game of his life tonight. He's not Like that position is well covered. You have Salcedo back there, you have Kata back there, you have Ayala back there. Like the center back positions are covered. Like Topo will not be starting. Topo won't be playing unless really crazy injury stuff happens. He's a bottom. He's filling a need. Someone needs to play to
Why would you say that?
move on from him.
We know that. Let's go over to the middle first. Before we obviously know what happened 4 years ago in Quito Gate. So with a member of Fabian, Jonathan Dos Santos. Fabian is in the squad. Fabian is starting. Hopefully these guys don't get in trouble with any more of these ladies of the night that it could go into there and steal laptops and then they report them. So hopefully everything stays in there. But in the midfield, like we mentioned, Aquino playing that 4-3-2, 5-3-2, which is something that he doesn't do very well. And then obviously Negro Medina, which hasn't had that holding mid position in a very long time. And then Fabian on the left. Just kind of seeing this mid. I mean, I know that there are bodies in there, but do you really see it working against a South American team at their home, which I feel like we're going to be a little more defensive, but very offensive having Medina in there. Naib, I know we talked about it before, in the role that Negrito Medina has changed since the America days, but what are your thoughts?
I think what Negrito brings is just a lot of experience. I think Negrito Medina is one of the leaders actually in this team with Rafa Marquez. And also Chuy Corona and Go. I think those are the three leaders in the team. And I think Negrito's going to play somewhere. I don't know exactly where in the midfield, but here in this case it will be a central holding midfielder. And Fabian and Aquino, it's a game for them to impress. I mean, if Fabian has a half like he did over there at Jalisco, well, of course, Fabian will probably be a starter maybe if he plays a heck of a first half today in Peru. Aquino the same. Aquino, I don't know if he'll be a starter when I see the whole list, but you never know. I mean, he can have a good game today and create some doubts in Miguel Herrera.
I think Fabian has a much easier path to a starting role than Aquino. I think Aquino is just Tecatito light. It's just it's not. They're very, very similar players. It's just Tecatito is just a step above him, and I think. Fabian is kind of competing a little bit with Medina, but Medina is a little bit more versatile, so who knows if he'll be switched back to a more defensive or the center defensive mid role in the midfield. And I think Fabian's only real competition is Montes, and Montes was pretty underwhelming in the last match. So I think it's much. I think Fabian a little bit easier for him, but Aquino, I think he's just gonna be backup. Like I said, he's just Tecatito light on the right attack.
I don't even think he's a Tecatito light. You never see Aquino ever shooting or having that many goals or anything like that. I mean, I would say maybe in the win if you're just keeping that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know the last time I saw Aquino really take shots. But
he has no shot. Like
I guess Jason would know. Yeah, let's hear Jason's side.
But you know what? He did play really. If anybody that really impressed me, and I know a lot of people didn't, and in the last Copa America was Aquino. He was there, and he did really well, if I remember correctly, even though we lost, the games. But I think he was a standout player, and that's where he kind of looked at that this youngster was kind of going to do something, and obviously went on to the Olympic, and then with the national team, everything changed when the 4-4-2 kind of went away because what we've seen that Aquino loves that role of that, that perfect winger on the right that just hustles back and forth. But on this more creative kind of sense that Piojo kind of has, it's a little harder for him to get ahead. But so let's go ahead and talk about the offense with Raúl Jiménez and obviously Esqueda. And we've kind of had the debate, obviously, with how is Raúl Jiménez's form coming in after a year where obviously he hasn't been playing in Atletico. And Lalo Herrera, who's, scoring some goals, and is right behind there, giving up, and also Esqueda having a magnificent season. The return of Esqueda from the years right before that Olympic horrendous performance with Hugo Sanchez. I mean, I think two players that are really going to look forward to give it all to get that one of those starting spots. But I think everyone will be looking at Raúl Jiménez to finally see a game. When was the last time that Raúl Jiménez? And I'll ask you guys, when was the last time Raúl Jiménez had a great game with the national team? Panama?
The game in Belarus.
Belarus?
Yeah, Belarus over there, the friendly after the Netherlands. I mean, no one remembers that game because it was a loss. But I think Raul Jimenez played good with Giovanni up top. Um, Raul Jimenez, talent-wise, out of the four forwards available, he's the top one. He hasn't had that many minutes in Atletico. That's also a fact. These are the games for him to pick up the stamina and the ability, I'd say. And we'll see. I mean, but I think he has a complete trust from Miguel Herrera.
Yeah, I also said that on paper Jimenez should be our best striker, but after what Herrera, like Lalo Herrera did in the last game, you never know. And then that brings up a question: is who should start over the other person? And perhaps should we maybe try? And maybe that's what Piojo will try today. Maybe he'll take on Esqueda at some point and try to see if there's something where he can have Jimenez and Lalo Herrera working together. But so there's definitely plenty of pressure on him and plenty of pressure on Esqueda. And also, I looked it up. So in the 2005 U17 World Cup, it was Aldrete and Esqueda. So we have two players from this roster who are playing from that one competition. Yeah.
For those that kind of missed it, was that this is the obviously where Mexico played in 2005. Gosh, it's already 2005. That's so long ago.
Yeah, and also Carlos Vela and Moreno were also on the roster for that.
Whoa, yeah. Very nice.
Yeah.
And Giovanni Dos Santos. Giovanni Dos Santos. Of course.
Ah, he was. Yeah,
Chicharito was watching the game.
Chicharito was watching the game. You know who You know who was in the sub 20 that subbed in Chicharito and Gio? I was kind of thinking about this. Was in Canada. Chicharito was there also.
Yeah, really? Yeah, he was part of the
Chicharito was there in the Canada game where everyone was expecting the sub 17 to come back in Canada, but Chicharito was there and subbed off Giovanni there. I mean that generation. I mean, I think Cesar Villaluz, obviously you know where he is now, but Frank Juarez, Joby Bermudez, very, very, very nice. Let's overall. I know we have about 8 minutes, but let's talk about what are you expecting to see in this game. I think from what these guys have been together actually for a while. That's one thing that I really liked is that they've actually worked together for more than almost 2.5 weeks. I know that the incorporations of some of the players, like Rafa Marquez, are coming in, but the Europeos have been done for about 2 weeks. And these guys have had plenty of time to come together, and it kind of showed that in the Guatemala game. Although Guatemala hasn't been, obviously, wasn't the greatest opponent for Mexico. But what do you guys expect from this game? And obviously, since I have you guys here, your predictions for the game. We'll start with Mr. Jason.
I expect a fair deal of choppiness, just like the odd mix of players that are there. But yeah, I mean, there's you look for those small things, right? Looking at you really look for something from Fabian tonight, kind of see that Fabian spark, and I think we could see that. And Raul, you really want to see him kind of have that form and step up and really get some of that going. And I'm looking at, we mentioned Aquino before, but thinking about that right side with Jerry and Aquino, who are very familiar with one another from back in Cruz Azul, kind of working together up that right side. You see what could happen. So we'll see. And it'll be interesting to see how Medina controls the game, if he could really step up and really take control that way. So we'll see.
Cesar.
I think we're gonna have a narrow victory. I'm shooting for a 2-1. I think Jimenez is definitely gonna do a good job today. He has plenty to prove. Even though, like I said, on paper he's our best striker. But after Lalo Herrera's performance, I'm sure he's probably gonna have a little bit more motivation to do well. Looking at the starting lineup, I think a lot of the attack is gonna come from the right wing. I mean, Jerry Flores was. Unfortunately, he was our catalyst for the attack last time, and he was just running with the ball, sometimes aimlessly, but he was definitely running with the ball down the right hand side of the pitch. And I think with Aquino right there, right next to him, you might see a lot of pace from the right hand side. And I think Fabian's going to do well too. So I think some key players, Jimenez, Fabian, and maybe let's see what Jerry Flores is going to do. Maybe he's going to have an assist. Maybe he's going to have an assist in the first 30 minutes. I don't know. We're going to see.
Jerry Flores, I mean, I think even since the U.S. game, it's just making those runs, looking good every time he's playing. But I feel like, Aquino's kind of be like, hey, this is my side. I don't want you to take my passes.
What are you doing?
I'm not kidding. Like, I just see Aquino's like, wait a second, if this guy's running that way, what am I supposed to do? That's my job. That's the only thing I do. Get away from here. Get back in your defensive role. And Naib?
Yeah.
The
prediction, I'd say 2-0 for Mexico. And I want to see Tecatito Corona. I mean, that's the only reason I'm kind of... the way he's playing is something else. I mean, he seems to be in another velocity than the rest of the players.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of how Neri Castillo was back in 2007. It was kind of in the Copa America team. He was in another velocity than the rest. But hopefully Tecatito has a better upcoming than what Castillo had.
Hey, Castillo's not gone, guys. Castillo's not gone.
I mean, he's lost somewhere in Europe.
That is his jersey right over there. I won't turn it around. But, so Cesar, you're going with the 2-1, the exact same scoreline as last night, the exact same scoreline as today. With the sub-20, sub-23, in the sub-20 World Cup, right? 2-1 all day.
Yeah, I'm even going to say, all right, so Jimenez is going to score. Let's see. It's probably bad to make predictions because usually way off. Let's say Jimenez is going to score by the 35th minute.
Oh my gosh.
And then I don't know who's going to score in the second half. It's going to be...
Oh, of course you don't know.
It's gonna be Fabian. We're gonna say Fabian.
Right
before he gets subbed out. Like he's probably gets subbed out like the 60th or 70th minute. So right before he gets subbed out, we're gonna get Fabian. So Fabian and Jimenez scoring.
I'm gonna go with 3-0. I think, and I think it's gonna be 2 goals in the first half. 1 goal in the first, and I'm even giving a defender giving a goal, and I'm Rafa Marquez off a header. Just start off the things.
Good. Yeah.
All right, guys. Already the game's about to start in a couple of minutes. Thank you so much for those that joined the chat. Sorry about me not being you guys being able to hear me. Some trouble with the mic. I apologize, but nevertheless, we'll be coming on. Special shout out to coming up on Friday night for those of you guys that are watching the U20 games. We did experiment yesterday. We're doing a live commentary YouTube channel, so stay tuned for that link with these guys. Naive, Cesar, I think Tom might join, and inviting obviously Mr. Jason also if he wants to stay up at 3 a.m. I know it's really late for him, but I think it's going to be fun times doing it, so I invite anybody that wants to listen to join us, and definitely comment and we can chat on the chat here. But thank you to all of you guys. Thank you to Hector. Thank you to Roberto for the chat, and we'll see you guys. If not for the Brazil game to do a little preview, but not definitely on Monday night. Thank you so much for watching, and let's go Mexico. Any last words?
Finally getting excited for the game. I'm stoked.
Finally.
That's all I have to say. Yeah.
Those tacos. All right, guys. Well,
no injuries.
Yes, definitely no injuries.
Yeah. Good call. Yeah.
All right, guys. Vamos Topo.
Vamos.
All right, guys. Talk to you guys later. Have a good day.
All right.